Man, I badly need to take better care of these trees. I need some mulch down here. Got two nice amber plums off of it, but man, it needs some maintenance badly. That's the thing about trees and things like that. You get out of them what you put into them, and if you don't maintain them, they don't produce. That looks like a good one. Had an interesting exchange on the Crypto Larks channel. He had this very beautiful young lady who is part of the crypto community, and he was interviewing her and all that, and I made a comment about how that young woman is more wealthy than, in a way, she is more wealthy than I ever have been or ever will be. And she's a very good YouTuber and very good and very knowledgeable with cryptocurrencies and bitcoins. But basically much of her notoriety is just an accident of birth. She is the basically the pinnacle of what most men are in the West are like wanting. You know, a cute blonde chick, you know, there's this waterfall of golden hair. Yeah. And boy, does she know it. And her, yeah, this may be an ugly garden bed, but it's maintenance free. But anyway, she has the ability to excel on social media far beyond what, you know, you or I are able to do. So it's actually it's sort of a trade-off. Ooh, man, that is ready. That one's not quite ready. Ooh, that one's ready. That one looks pretty good. Yeah, I need to maintain these trees better. So in any case, it's just one of those unfortunate things with life. We basically, she has the ability to vastly overpower me in, you know, as far as like if I wanted to make a Bitcoin channel and you know, and try to gain views, and especially if I wanted to like monetize the channel. I wouldn't have a prayer in the world of competing with her. So, you know, that's, and then I made a sort of a comparison that I am just as able to compete with her in social media as she's able to compete with me in my field as a heavy diesel truck mechanic. Because basically I've had many of these, well, not many, but several women over the years who've come to our shop, and they've tried to do my job. Boy, those look good. But basically and they're all like 21 years old and utterly tremendously vigorous. And they, but basically they, don't mind if I do. But basically they are just not built for this type of work, and they sort of struggle along. Once they're trained up enough to basically do the job, and if they're familiar and have done a particular job several times, they would be about as fast as the slowest old graybeard in the shop. And then, since they're struggling to get off of the very bottom of the productivity list, ooh, that one is ready. Man, that's going to be sweet. And so they struggle to get off the very bottom of the productivity list, and and then they start getting hurt. That one has been eaten by some kind of critter. I don't know how he put his whole head through that thing, but that's compost. Anyway, then we have to load her onto the ambulance and send her off to the hospital. And after about 2 or 3 trips through the hospital like that, they either take a pay cut and go into management. Management makes less than we do. Or they leave the shop and go off to another line of work. So they are just not built for it. So a young woman, right, even she can barely even, well, she can't even compete with like a guy who's 65 years old and just about ready to retire, because they are just not built for that. and as just like that, if I attempted to compete with what's her face? Can't remember her channel name. Anyway, she would just wipe the floor with me. There's no way that I can compete with that. And so I don't even try. That's just a waste of my time. So I basically work, and I do what productivity I can within the area where I have the advantage, which is being a mechanic and long-term thinking, as Adam Meister says. So if you want to look at the little exchange, and I pointed that out, right? And then this chick, I can't remember what her name was, she was she was saying, oh, it's very boring that you complain about that, and what that means is shut the fuck up. Just like Big Red. But she said it more politely, but basically what they want to do is they want to just shut down any kind of conversation like that, where men share information like that with each other, because they do not want us doing that. They don't want their slaves getting off of the plantation and starting to coordinate their activities and letting each other know what the real deal is, right? And she pulled out the tired old misogynist accusation, and man, I was laughing, because does anybody even pay attention to that accusation anymore? I mean, that accusation has been so overused. Misogyny, it's been so shrieked about that it's lost its power to shock or embarrass or control the actions of men, except for maybe some simps. And it was, and then I went on to saying, I don't think that you are bored. I think you are angry or irritated, and irritation and anger is just another type of fear. And I went on to say that she's afraid of losing a bunch of slaves that might serve her and her fellow women, so that we could have her income drained off and whatnot. And then I went on to describe how if you if you're a guy and you like avoid marriage, you have just tremendous you have the full power of a hey Dad, I'm just making a YouTube video, don't say my name.
Oh, you mean
don't do it. I picked some apples and I got 2 of those really tasty amber plums down in here. I think our neighbors sneaked over the fence and grabbed the rest of them, or maybe shook the tree, because man, they're like crack. And that tree must have actual crack in that fruit, because it's really good. And I got some ripe pears right off the tree. Nutritious and delicious.
those pears actually do taste pretty good.
Yeah, you know, you were, I think you're the one who picked that tree out. And you're the one who was sort of behind the driving force for planting that one.
And it pollinates well with the 2 pear trees that the neighbors have over here.
Ah, nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So we only need 1.
Yeah, that works. So in any case, and I was then pointing out about how much more wealthy a woman's life is when she has a strong man in her life, because and I went for the example of how when the washing machine broke, I was able to take it apart and fix it, whereas she would have been forced to either hire a highly skilled and strong man to do that work, or buy a new washer. But in either case, she is much closer to poverty when that event occurs than I would be, because all it cost me was like maybe 2 hours to take it apart and pull that metal out of that pump. So yeah, good times. And I doubt seriously she's going to be happy to hear that. So if you want to take part in the conversation and enjoy and share the joy, you know, you're welcome to. I'll leave a link on the video info page. Okay, guys, I got stuff to do. I think I'm gonna replace the gasket in my valve cover gasket in my car, because I'm getting a little bit of smoke, and I think it's because of oil leaking on the exhaust manifold. And that would cost that young lady quite a bit of money to have that done, whereas me, it cost me $24 for the gasket. Good times. And don't get married.